February will be remembered as the month of many firsts. So let's track one more date, February the 4th of 2026. A date that will be remembered as the day when the linear headcount model faced its judgment day. In a single trading session, the titans of Indian IT, TCS, Infosys, Wipro, saw over 2 lakh crores in market value evaporate. It wasn't a bad quarterly report, it wasn't a global recession, it was a technology release. Anthropic's launch of the Claude co-work suite has rewritten the rules of global economy. For 40 years, the Indian IT story was built on a simple equation. More people equals more revenue. But with the arrival of Agentic AI, that equation has been smashed. Today, we're deep diving into the SaaSpocalypse, a mix of words called SaaS and Apocalypse. We are looking at the 5 crore job descriptions that represent the vast majority of 5.8 million workers in the Indian landscape and analyze exactly how Anthropic's new agents are blunting the traditional offering of the offshore model. For the last 2 years, we have treated AI as a co-pilot. IT suggested code, it summarized emails, it was assistive. But the Claude 3.5 family has moved us into an era of agentic AI. What does that mean? It means the AI no longer asks for permission to write a line of code. It accesses the repository, it runs the terminal, it deploys the patch, and it self-heals the errors it finds along the way. But the real knockout blow is computer use. Anthropic gave Claude eyes and hands. It doesn't need an API to talk to your software. It literally sees the screen, counts the pixels, clicks the buttons, and navigates legacy systems like SAP or Oracle just like a human associate. And that's where the problem begins. For an Indian IT sector that prospered by managing these fragmented, labor-intensive processes, it is not a tool, it is a competitor. Let's get granular. According to NASSCOM's 2026 strategic review, these 5 roles form the core engine of Indian IT's economy collectively. They represent the vast majority of service delivery landscape. So the role number 1 is manual and automation QA. Approximately 750,000 or more workers are employed doing this. And historically, QA was a volume game. If you hired an army of juniors to follow Excel sheets, clicking buttons and documenting bugs. But with the computer use, Claude can now see a UI just like a human. You give it a goal, test the checkout flow for every regional currency. Claude doesn't read or need a pre-written script. It navigates the site, finds the broken button, and using Claude code, it identifies the specific line of JavaScript causing that crash. This blunts the entire ticketing model. We are moving from thousands of testers to a handful of AI architects. Role number 2, application maintenance and L1, L2 support. Think about keep the lights on contracts. Tickets come in, humans read logs, humans apply patches. It is the bread and butter of managed services. Now through the model context protocol, Claude is plugged directly into the enterprise stack. When a server throws an error at 3 am, Claude ingests the log, compares them to the last successful deployment and executes a fix in seconds. The billable night shift is facing an extension. Role number 3, BPO and data processing. Approximately employs 1.3 million workers. India's BPO sector thrives on swivel chair automation, moving data from APDF to an ERP. Anthropic's new computer agents target this directly. They can read an unstructured invoice, open the accounting software, and then type in the data just like a human operator. This blunts the value of the offshore associate because it has zero human error and operates at the fraction of a cost. Role number 4 is a junior full stack developer. About 1.4 million workers in India are employed on this job description. The pyramid model of the big 4 relies on freshers, junior developers writing boilerplate code. Then Claude now handles over 60% of routine coding tasks automatically. A senior architect using Claude code is now as productive as a team of 4. This is why recent quarterly data shows the sharpest headcount reduction in a decade. The pyramid is collapsing. Role number 5 is data analyst and B1 specialist. About 500,000 workers in India are employed doing this. Juniors spend 80% of their time cleaning data. Claude's analysis tool now writes and runs its own code to process data in real time. A client no longer waits for 48 hours to report from an offshore team. They talk to the agent, they get the chart, and they get the insight instantly. The reporting factory is officially disrupted. When Anthropic announced about Claude's capabilities yesterday and demonstrated its ability to do these roles, the initial investor reaction was violent because they saw a threat. And make no mistake, the threat is imminent. But as we look at the data, one thing is certain: the traditional headcount model is no longer defensible. You cannot bill for time when agent works in seconds. The survival of Indian IT sector depends on a radical pivot, and we are moving from being labor suppliers to intelligence orchestrators. Claude can code, but it doesn't know the tribal knowledge of a 30-year-old banking system. Claude can navigate a UI, but it can't maintain the trust and governance that a Fortune 500 CEO demands, obviously at 100% accuracy. So as of now, I recommend that let the dust settle down before you think of winding down your portfolio, especially the Indian IT portfolio. Because we know that Indian IT is a survivor and we never know what they are hiding in their arsenal. So thank you for tuning in and thank you for your time.